Hello, and welcome back to Violet Memoir. We're in class, I guess. Gonna do some learnings today, I hope. uh, excuse me. His ears flick at that, and he raises an eyebrow, not giving away an ounce of what he's thinking. Lele, on the other hand, sighs and runs a hand across his face. And what time did you wake up? 7. Lele says, looks like he's about to slam. I was hoping that was gonna say slap me, like that'd be really funny, right? Slam something on the desk. I don't even think he's angry, just extremely baffled. Lucas looks unperturbed. In fact, he seems pretty unsurprised. That's really late. That's around the time I went to sleep. I gape at at that, and how wide Lele's eyes are. He's just as shocked, but Lucas clarifies before either of us can interrupt. I don't have to get up at 7. It's not that bad. All of my classes are online, so I can stay home and do them later than usual. Wish I was fucking there instead of in this shithole. There it is. I was thinking Lucas was acting surprisingly calm compared to the last 2 days. Lele doesn't even react, instead opting to revert back to his distant quiet mode. So, what's with the distance? You guys look like you're trying to stay as far away from each other as possible. Lily must have finished her conversation with Oscar because she suddenly talks to us. I didn't want to ask, but it doesn't seem like Lily has any reservations about that kind of thing. I want to sit next to them, but when I tried to sit next to Lucas, he told me to fuck off. Reasonable. I guess not reasonable, but like I understand that is how Lucas will respond. He gives a big laugh at that, treating the whole thing like a giant joke. Then I asked the bad boy over there, and he just shook his head. Now I'm sitting all alone over here. Despite giving some puppy dog eyes at the end, he can only hold it for a few moments before smirking again. I don't feel like getting groped, Smiley. Oh, and are we actually doing that nickname? Lele just shrugs and doesn't respond. Instead, someone else does. Listen, meathead, you have no respect for personal space. Lily just nods in agreement, likely not really wanting to verbally contribute. Boo! You guys are no fun. Nothing wrong with a little fun between the bros, right? No one reacts to that one, leaving only a poignant, a deadpan silence. With no one playing along, he gives up that charade and turns his focus onto me. He's got a mischievous look in his eyes that has me worried. What about you, Wallace? You gonna give me a nickname too? What? Come on, man. Everyone else has. You gotta give me one. I consider pointing out that Lucas wasn't exactly giving him a nickname and was just insulting him. Then again, Oscar doesn't really seem to mind being insulted. He just finds it hilarious. I don't know. I like Oscar. It's fitting and fun. I like calling you that. That catches him off guard for a moment. Is that a bashful expression on his face? I must be more tired than I thought. Aw, jeez, man. You're gonna make me blush. Aight. You can call me Oscar. That's your name. It's expected you use that anyway. You're exceedingly dense. Well, let's take our seats. Lily seems to quickly interject into the bickering. She leans over and whispers into my ear. Before someone says something, they can't take back. So, she's suddenly much louder and, unfortunately, still next to my ear, leaning away from her so I don't lose my hearing. I managed to catch the rest of it at a reasonable level. Where do you want to sit? Wallace? Best decide fast. Looks like class will start soon. I mean, like we've already decided we're gonna be with the big boy, as it were. Walking over to the otter, I noticed that he's been watching me the whole time. The grin that's plastered across his face is something I've come to associate with him. It's hard to imagine him not smiling. He's wearing the same button-up shirt he wore on Monday. This must be what he wears to more professional environments. Now that I'm paying attention to his shirt again, a glint of metal reminds me that he has a necklace on. I wonder what it is.
If you want, I can show you more than just the top of my chest.
God. My eyes instantly go up to Oscar's face, his blue eyes swirling with a mixture of amusement and something else. I'm sure he's kidding, and I'm about to give my own playful reply, but I'm cut off by him reaching up and beginning to actually undo the top button. My ears go up in flames, and despite my mind racing at an insane speed, my body completely freezes up.
Oscar!
Lily's voice is stern and blunt. I can see him staring at Oscar out of the corner of his eye. My eye. The mustelid only gives a snicker in response, but pulls his hands away, all buttons intact. He's still staring at me, that massive grin never leaving his face.
So, you want to join me, or are you chickening out?
I give a silent nod, my ears still burning. My head can't help but look down at the ground as I approach his side of the table. Before I can make it past him, he puts a hand on my chest to stop me. I'm not even giving a chance to respond before his tail comes up under my chin, lifting it to look directly at him. His face is extremely close, and I can feel my blush deepening, my face feeling extremely hot. Despite all of the teasing earlier, he looks a lot more sincere now. His long and thick tail caresses my chin softly, and I can't help but relax at that. The smile is still plastered across his face, as seems to grow too. But what really catches my attention are his eyes. I always noticed they were blue and shimmering, but up close, they remind me of the ocean as the sunlight ripples across the waves.
Hey, I'm just yanking your chain here. I'll never do something you're not comfortable with. Just let me know if I go too far, okay? Like with your name.
His smile does falter with that, giving it a worried tint. It's just now that I'm reminded who I'm talking to. Oscar has done nothing but has been nothing but kind and nice to me so far. Sure, he's flirting, but he's the first person to reach out and help me. Feeling much better and more secure, I move on to sit next to the otter. My flustered face has thankfully receded back to normal. Oscar is bouncing in his chair. He looks very excited, and I don't know if it's because I'm sitting next to him, or because I've cheered up. So, what's the necklace of? What's the necklace? Is it like a gift or something you thought was cool? For the first time since I've met Oscar, he looks genuinely uncomfortable, and no games or messing around, just unease. He avoids looking at me, a serious expression on his face. It's a stark contrast from the smile he usually sports.
Let's not talk about that.
Sorry. I didn't know it was a touchy subject.
Don't worry about it. I just don't like to dwell on things, okay?
Yeah, sorry.
I already forgot about it.
As if everything's back to normal, he gives me another one of his signature smiles, like the last couple seconds didn't happen. He really doesn't like to dwell on the bad thoughts, but I can't help but get a sinking feeling in my chest. I hope I didn't just drown his mood. He acts like everyone, but he acts like someone who'd hide being sad.
Okay, students, quiet down.
The room goes silent almost immediately, everyone turning to face the professor. Thankfully, Oscar and myself are sitting on the only side of the table front-facing. We can see the professor clearly, the others have to turn somewhat.
I'll pass a sign-in sheet around, then we'll get started.
I'm barely able to pay attention, my eyes straining to focus on the professor. My short nap definitely wasn't enough. At least we're finally discussing things with our group. I don't think I could focus on the professor for a moment longer. Lily's what is this word? What is this word? Regurgitating? Is that what the word is? Is it regurgitating? What I told her earlier, but it just sounds like white noise to me.
Wallace!
Lethargic, I turn my head towards Oscar. He's missing the smile, he's missing his smile, and that alone makes me pay attention to what he's saying.
You look like you're about to pass out. Do you need help? If you want to sleep, I can cover for you.
I shake my head slowly, not wanting to be a burden. I can't. You guys need me to help with the project. He gives just a nod and surprisingly no verbal response. When I turn back to look at Lily, I'm given a very delayed reaction by the otter. All I have as a warning is the sound of the neighboring seats scuffling closer to me. Oscar wraps his arm around my neck. Before I have a chance to respond, he pulls me closer. My face presses into his chest, and my mind immediately goes to how firm his chest is. I know he's strong, but just how ripped he is still surprises me. Not wanting to come across as too awkward, I make sure I'm still facing the others. Lele flicks his eyes towards us for a moment, but it doesn't say anything, and it doesn't look like Lily or Lucas have noticed.
Let me know if this makes you uncomfortable, Lee. At least, like this you can have someone supporting you and a place to sleep just in case.
His hands now rest on top of my head, and he rubs it softly. I have never had someone pat my head before. It feels really nice. Time passes by slowly. The chattering around me is muffling to an indecipherable collection of noises. I want to go home and pass out as soon as possible. Barely any time must have passed, though, since Lily hasn't asked for my input on the diary yet. Instead of a blissful end of class, my phone buzzes against my leg. I don't remember setting it to vibrate. I must have done it without thinking. I pull it out of my pocket. It's a text, but my eyes can't focus on the name. Opening the message displays only 2 words and the name of the sender. Marcos? Do we know a Marcos? I don't remember that name being thrown up. Nope. Maybe I'm just forgetful. I'm sorry. I feel nauseous. It's as if a bucket of ice-cold water has been dumped on me. All my fur bristles, and I'm suddenly very aware and uncomfortable with where I am. I can't be here. I need to leave, now. A panic begins to surge in me, and I stand up, almost knocking over the chair as I do.
Whoa, Wallace, what's up?
I don't stop to say anything. I just keep heading towards the exit.
Wallace, what's wrong?
I shove the door open, near slamming it with how much of a hurry I'm in. But I can't even bring myself to give a shit about that. Even before I know it, I'm right in front of the stairwell. Everything is so surreal right now. It feels like reality is collapsing around me, like it's trying to crush me into a paste. Not wanting to spend another second here, I take a step before I'm suddenly interrupted by my phone again. Opening it up, I'm instantly greeted by the same message. I'm sorry. Suddenly, there's a cracking sound. My phone lays broken in half on the ground, the screen completely dead and disembodied from my phone. Lit. Let's go. Time for an upgrade. I claws dig into my hand. I'm clenching them so hard that I almost stab myself. My breathing is deep and heavy, panting like I've run a marathon. Turning away again, I run up 5 more steps before a horrific noise catches my attention once more. It's my ringtone, except there's something very, very wrong. The noise is stretching out, distorting itself beyond recognition into something sinister. It's painful and grotesque. I don't turn around, though. I can't move at all. That's when something more horrific happens. The stairs in front of me are changing. They stretch upward. No, that's wrong. It's like they're gaining more steps, getting higher and higher. What? What the fuck? As it grows taller, it curves around into a spiral. I still can't move. It's like I'm being held in place by an impossible force. Not only that, but the stairs material change. Even the ones below me are shifting, changing from lino to wood. It doesn't just change, but rope appears to be wrapping around each plank. And they are definitely planks now. I can see the floor and the gaps between the stairs. Even the hand railing I'm clenching to has rope now twisted around it. I don't understand what's happening. It keeps spiraling and growing, twisting and growing until I'm just looking straight up at the spiral staircase now. I can't even see the top. Turning around, I go to head back inside the classroom before noticing that the door is now missing. The wall is instead smooth and no indication that there ever was a door to begin with. That awful sensation increases, like the world is actively mocking me. Am I hallucinating? Have I really lost my mind? Just as I thought things are getting more horrific, my eyes are drawn to the ground. My phone is still sitting there, but only for a second. Then the ground underneath it falls. There's no way to describe it. It just falls through, drops into some kind of black void. And the hole grows until the entire floor has broken away. And now the only place to stand on is the stairs. I'm gripping onto the hand railing tightly. My legs are completely trembling, tears well up in my eyes. What's going on? Hello? Can anyone hear me? There's no response at all. Oscar? Anyone? I'm alone. But I'm not allowed to swallow in my stupor for long as a new noise fills my ears. The sound of wood breaking. Looking down once again, I see movement on the bottom step. The bottom step is cracking before my eyes. It breaks away and drops into the dark abyss below. A panic resurfaces to the forefront of my brain, and I'm already running. The sound of heavy steps echo out into the darkness as I bolt up the stairs. That awful sound of wood snapping continues, much faster and louder this time. I don't look back. It's catching up to me. I can't afford to slow down. I'm past what would have been the top of the building, the walls that have stopped running alongside the stairs. The world is just darkness. It's hopelessly empty. The only thing that I can see are the stairs ahead of me. All I can hear are my footsteps and the cracking behind me. Said cracking is getting closer and closer. I'm feeling well beyond out of breath already. My legs are screaming and I can feel like I could pass out at any second. The cracking is right behind me now. It won't be much longer till I don't even want to think about that, sorry. Just a bit above me, I can make out a dark mass at the top of the stairs. I must be close to whatever this leads. My heart feels like it's going to burst out of my chest, both from fear and exhaustion. I'm not even paying attention to what's in front of me anymore. I'm just running. As my foot goes to lift up, the plank below is it cracks and falls, and I'm suddenly lurched forward. Instead of falling against the wooden planks or deeper into the abyss, I hit solid ground. I can't move for a while. I can only lie there in exhaustion. My body is extremely sore. A prickling sensation stabs through my entire lower body. It feels like I can't breathe, each gasp only giving me so much air. After what feels like hours of just panting on the ground, I finally can move again. I wrestle my body back to my feet, my legs still feeling a bit wobbly, but aren't aching much anymore despite my rest, likely only being a few minutes. Looking around, my surroundings are familiar but warped. It's the same hallway I just came from to get into the stairwell, except now the floors and walls are covered in what looks like rope and the floors are made out of wood. Walking through the corridor, I can't help but want to scream. I wish I knew what was happening. If it was a hallucination, surely something would have happened to me by now. I would have walked into a wall or something. A voice echoes around, and it nearly startles me into sprinting away again. Wallace, are you okay? That voice is smooth, and there's a sense of energy coming from it. It reminds me of Oscar, so I can only assume it's him. Before I can really process what I'm hearing, my surroundings shift again. It shifts to what looks like some kind of fancy hallway. I can't tell much before it changes back. Oscar, is that you? I yell out with all of my strength, my throat feeling hoarse from all of the breathing. With no response, when no response happens, I have to hold back the growing feeling of panic welling in my chest. Who knows what might happen if I stay around here? I gotta keep going. Alright. I will end the part here, everyone, so I'll see you around.